Hello, my darling Gemini. This is going to be a reading for you for the month of June 2021. It's an exciting time. It's kind of a crazy time, but it's also an exciting time. Now, I did this double deck thing for one of the weekly readings last weekly reading, in fact. But I think I'm going to continue on that theme for the moment because I love it. I love having the opportunity for things to come up twice if they want to. And I also wanted to mention to you that I am going to do an extended reading here that you can click on after this video. And if you want to, you can watch some more for yourself. And that one is going to be the Druid Craft Tarot, which I'm finding really interesting. I just started reading the little book. I love these cards. They're really huge and kind of cool, and I really am into them. But once you start really reading the little booklet with the meanings, they've kind of expanded on a lot of the card meanings. And I haven't, sort of watched to see if the meanings are correct yet. But I'm going to kind of try to find it out and discern whether or not they are valid. Some of them are just the regular meanings with a little bit of expansion, but some of them are like all new kinds of ideas in there. And I'm interested, and I want to see if some of them work out the way it says. They all make sense. It's not like it's something really off the wall. They're just a little bit more specific. So I'm going to read more about it. But when I do the reading, I will actually read you the thing out of the book because I'm not familiar with some of the things yet. But I thought it would be fun for you to have an added little something or other to, see how it works out in your month, because that's always a fun thing to do. And, a lot of people like these different decks and things. I mean, traditional is always great, but then there's also, some new concepts and things to look at. And I don't want you to ever be bored on this channel. So I'm going to always try to introduce new things. And then you can tell me what you like and tell me what you don't like and all that good stuff. So I think this is feeling pretty solid. I think we're where we're supposed to be here. One more. Okay, there we go. And you know what? 3 times this card ended up on the bottom of the deck. It's like doing that thing where if it wants to do something, it will do something. Let's see if it's still there. Nope. Okay, a couple more shuffles, and then we'll go from there. Because I would be very surprised if that 2 of Swords did not end up somewhere in the reading, because when they want to appear, they do. But let's find out. Doubles. The whole point of the double-decker. This is the 3rd reading of my monthly for June. This card has appeared in all 3 of them. That's kind of interesting. But you're getting a few more wands than anybody else has gotten so far, which, being Aries and a wands kind of a girl, I like that. And the victory card has not shown up in a while, which is a wonderful card. Well, I have to say, just by my immediate look, this is definitely the best reading that's come up in a little while, because usually there are all these 3 of Swords, heartache, and there's the 10 of Swords, the feeling of being backstabbed, or the 8 of Swords, the feeling trapped. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. So this is much, much, much more positive. So let's start out with our one reversal here. So this is the card, the 8 of Cups, where somebody is going off looking for the missing cup, feeling that something is missing, but you've got it reversed. So you are focusing on what you have in your life currently. You are focusing on the things that need your attention right now. That is a very good thing, which makes complete sense with this card right here, which is the card of somebody working toward a goal. And even though it's not always fun and it's not always fulfilling, you are doing the steps you need to take to get where you want to be. So this is very much a card of the worker. This 8 of Pentacles. It's persevering, doing what you have to do, trying to put things in order to make things get where you want them to be, because you're working for a goal. You're trying to give yourself a secure future, or enough money, or the status that you want that comes from the work you're doing, something of that nature. Now, this card often appears with this card because you're working hard, you're doing your thing. And this card is about you are in action, you're trying to reap the reward from the harvest or the work or the job, whatever. And sometimes there's some dissatisfaction or a disillusionment that you're not getting all you think you deserve, or it's not happening as quickly as you want it to, that kind of thing, which is completely understandable. Even if you are in the best job in the world, those feelings will arise sometimes. And the thing of it is, sometimes those feelings are really important because they drive you. They drive you for more, more, more success if that's what you're going for. So, I like to attack anything that has any negativity first. So, this is the only other card really in this entire reading that has anything negative about it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It's a card of somebody who has achieved some kind of a victory. So we've got the victor. I'm going to presume that's you, but it isn't always. And we've got these people who are defeated walking away in the background. So this can be an intellectual victory. It doesn't have to be any real actual combat going on. It could be that you've had arguments where you come off the winner and you feel a little superior because of it, which maybe you are and maybe it's warranted, but it's always kind of a warning that if you're the more intellectual person in the argument and you manage to outwit and out-talk and out-maneuver the other person, maybe don't be too much of a sore winner about it. Or maybe if it's somebody that you actually love, like your partner, maybe don't be so glib with them because maybe that isn't ultimately what they need. Maybe they need a kind listening ear. It depends on if we're talking about somebody who's a bit of a shit and deserves it, or somebody decent, upstanding, kind, wonderful, and your lover. It depends on what we're dealing with here as to how you need to behave with them. So you think that out and work that one out, because I don't know the parties involved. But there is some true happiness going on in this reading. So here we've got, now you've got a few swords, this one, and these, of course. So being Gemini, you are an air sign. So an air sign is all about air, ethereal concepts, intellectualism, all that good stuff. So, when I talk about this thing with the potential arguments, the potential victories, all of that, you understand what I'm talking about, because these things are sort of ethereal. They're all about thoughts and perceptions and feelings, feelings that are attached to intellectual concepts, not just feelings in and of themselves. So let's look at some of the people we're dealing with here. So here we've got another swords card, the Page of Swords. So this person is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, typically, and probably a young person, child, teenager, or very young adult. It can be somebody else, but usually that's the age range. It can mean a concept or a person. So if this is you, if you're a young person and this is you, that's not surprising, being that it's Gemini. And so maybe if you are this young person, this smart, young, happening person, you are a little cocky perhaps, and you are a bit of a winner. Not a total bad thing, but maybe just be aware, look out for being a little bit too cocky or a little bit too, superior in situations. If it's not you, then perhaps it's somebody you know. And this person will tend to be a scholar, will be ever learning, will be very smart and witty and interesting because of their wittiness, and probably are very good at conversation, and a good person to know if you know them. And if it is you, which would not surprise me at all, also a good person to for other people to be acquainted with. So then we've got this swords card, which is the Ace of Swords, which is a wonderful card, a very exciting, strong, powerful card. It's about the beginning of an idea or some intellectual pursuit that you're going to undertake. It could be you want to go to college or university or some other course. You want to embark on something that involves learning and gaining knowledge. It doesn't have to be a sanctioned course. It could be, you've decided you're going to read X number of books or X number of type of books, or it's the beginning of an idea. So maybe you're going to write a book yourself, or you're going to create a manual, or you're going to teach children something that would be fun and positive, or anything along that line. Something, often the transference of learning, often you doing the learning. Sometimes in these things where you're teaching, you often also learn a bunch of other interesting stuff. So whatever it is, it's the beginning of all that. It's the idea stage. And being that it's surrounded by so much positivity, I'm going to suggest that you strongly put this into action, because I think it'll come out fantastic. So if you have something like that brewing, go for it. I fully think it's going to be amazing. So here's the Queen of Wands. She is a fire sign. She's an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. She is all about action, social life, bringing people together, very proactive, very active, very physical. She probably hugs you and wants you in her inner circle, and is very, very positive and has tons of energy and full of activity, kind of a night owl type often. Somebody who really is the life of the party and can talk to death. So this person is probably somebody very attractive to you. Now, maybe it's somebody you know, and if it isn't, sometimes the Queen of Wands comes to help us to put things into action. So if this idea is kind of sitting there and you're not too sure if you should go for it, I'm going to say do, because here's the Queen of Wands saying, come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go. And that is fun and exciting. And then you've got a lot of happy stuff here. But before we dive into the just purely happy stuff, let's hit the Hierophant. The Hierophant is absolutely a positive card if you like tradition, if you like milestones in life, if you like the steps one goes through to get to the next stage. This can be representative of a retirement or a marriage. It's often a marriage. So if you have anybody in the stage of getting married, or maybe it's you, that is why the card is asserting itself. But it can also be a religious ceremony of any kind that's going to get you to the next stage. You know, in Catholicism, confirmation or something like that. But also marriage and you know, just anything that is sort of old traditional society having steps to go through. It can even mean things like, at one point, if you were such and such an age, when you get married, then, you know, all your friends start bugging you to have a baby, because that's the sort of prescribed next step. So anything that is quote unquote normal in society, this would be the card. So some people love this card. They think it's traditional. They look at it as possible marriage. It's very positive and happy for them. Now, I believe in all those traditional things. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But I'm not really one to kind of do everything I'm told. I don't necessarily want to be part of the status quo. So I've never kind of looked at it as my most favorite card. And I'm not saying that in some crazy wild thing, like I want everything that was ever a tradition trashed or anything like that. I just, you know, it doesn't really resonate with me personally, the card, but some people absolutely love the card. So depending on how you feel. When I see all this celebration here, I think maybe it could be a marriage. And personally, I have nothing against that. I don't know if you do or not, but if that's what it is, I'm assuming if it's your marriage, then you're into it. So could be a very good card that way. So with the happiness factor, and when I see this card representing something like potential marriage, and I see all this happiness here and nothing really negative, I am feeling really good about it. I'm going to say, whatever the thing is, I'm going to say, I think you're good. Especially if this is happening within the month or soon. You've got the sun. The sun is so positive. It's like such a beautiful feeling of happiness, a feeling of happiness that we almost never get. So it is to die for. Fantastic, wonderful, amazing, the best of the best. And then we've got the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is this beautiful card of celebration. You know, coming together, raising a glass, dancing, happy. Often something that does come along with a wedding that's going to be very, very happy and positive. So this is good. Now, the other thing that could be is whatever's going on here with the victory card, maybe that's the reason for celebration, because the victory card is very active. Somebody has gone out and done something. Sometimes it's something at work, like you've achieved a certain level of status, or you've done something which is being celebrated. It's certainly being recognized, or you're going to have a certain level of renown or satisfaction, or people praising you for something you've done. And that's why we call it the victory card. It's amazing. It's a very celebratory card in and of itself. You see the wreaths raised, all the wands. It's very active, very happy. And then we've got this card with the cups and the passion and the happiness and the celebration. So, my Geminis, whatever's going on for you, it's good. It's good. It's positive. It's active. It's the beginning of things. It's happy. It's happy and happening. And you're going to achieve things. You're going to create things. There's reason to celebrate. So I'm really happy with this reading. I will have the other extended for you to go with this if you're interested. If not, pass it by. If you'd like to watch it, it's there for you. So you have a fantastic month, and I will talk to you soon.